Welcome back to the podcast. It's Becky here. And today we're joined by Cruz. She is the owner of the Savvy Shopkeeper, and she is a retail store owner. And today she's going to be talking all about how to market your business besides social media. So I hope you stick around because this is going to be a good one.
Welcome to the Product Biz Made Easy podcast, where we help you scale your product-based business. Your award-winning host and serial entrepreneur, Becky J. Anderson, created an 8-figure product-based brand that was sold all over the world and in big box retail stores. Each week, she will be sharing sales strategies, marketing advice, or inspiring interviews to help you scale your product-based business. Now, on to the show.
Hey, welcome to the podcast, Kathy.
Hi, Becky. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Oh, we're so thrilled to have you here. So for those that don't know you, tell us about yourself and your shop and how you got started.
There's a bit of a journey, so I will try to keep it simple. I would say around 6 years ago, my sister and I wanted to be creative together. We grew up really poor in Cleveland, Ohio, and our mom had to upcycle and repurpose things, and we always had a passion for it. So we decided to start a DIY blog where we would take old things and make them new again. And that turned into a little bit of a business, and it turned into an online shop with Etsy, and we found people were buying things off of social media from us, furniture projects, upcycled lighting. And fast forward 2 years, we opened up a brick and mortar store because we had enough of a following and we felt confident enough that we could serve our audience and our customers through a store. And then we opened 2 years later.
I love that story. And I love how often I hear it was a hobby that turned to a business and then it turned to something bigger. And it sounds like that's the same thing for you.
Yeah, it was nice. It was fun. It was fun that I was doing it with my sister. We often hear people tell us I could never do that with my sister, but we always say we can't imagine doing it with anyone else. That's how much we really enjoy working with each other.
Oh, you're so lucky that you live close enough that you can do that. None of my sisters are close enough to do that. That's great. So do you guys make or manufacture all your own products that you sell in the store?
You know, we're a pretty big mix. We still refurbish furniture. So that is probably our big, in terms of like our workload, the biggest projects that we tackle. And then we team up with a couple of local people. We team up with a carpenter who does a lot of our woodworking projects because we don't have time to do it all. We try to stick to 26 to 30 hours a week for each of us. So that means we have to delegate some things. So we team up with a carpenter. And then we also have some other local handmade vendors in the store. We don't consign, but we do buy wholesale. And then we also go to market. We go to America's Mart in Atlanta every January.
Oh, yeah, that's a fun one. I exhibited at that show forever. We had a showroom there, so that's great.
And it was exhausting.
Yeah. I know. It's like we'd go in for the shows. If you go start to finish, it's like 10 days. Yeah. It's a long time. But it's a great show. It's great for buying products, great for selling products. So now that you have your store, you're learning all these different ways to market. And that's what I'm excited for you to share with the audience, because so oftentimes makers and manufacturers and wholesalers and basically anybody product-based business, they just get into putting it out on social and thinking that's enough. Well, it's really not.
Yes. And social media is so trendy right now, and that's what everyone talks about. So I think everyone feels like they need to put all of their eggs into that basket, but they really don't have to. There are so many things that they can do to market their businesses. And these are all things that we've learned along the way doing this for the past 6 years. And I think we really focused on we did focus on social media, but we focused on other marketing tools as a package instead of just focusing on social media.
Yeah. And social media, honestly, email marketing is way better than social media. Before we dig into your list there, do you do Facebook ads or advertising?
For our store?
Yeah.
We mostly run ads for our events. We don't run ads for page likes. We don't run consistent ads just in terms of marketing the store. But we found them to be really effective for our events. Yeah. And organic social media is really what's grown our business. We've been really lucky. We consistently post. I'm sure everyone hears this all the time. Just be consistent. And I really think that's been key for us. And we've grown organically because of it.
What's the name of your store for those that want to follow?
It's The Salvaged Boutique, and we're in Lakewood, Ohio.
Awesome. Great. Well, I'm excited to dig into your list of ways to market because everybody says, well, how do I do it? What do I do? So let's start with your first one. What's the first idea?
Okay. The first one is partnering up with retail stores and doing a pop-up shop. That's a great way to get out there, put yourself out in front of other people, in front of someone else's audience. Just reaching out to retail store owners. Of course, they should align with your type of business and the products that you make or manufacture. But that's a great way to get out. And sometimes a pop-up shop can be an evening. It could be a week, 2 weeks. It's really whatever you decide with the retail store owner.
Yeah, those are really popular. Even Costco's doing them. Have you noticed when you go into Costco, that front section right as you walk in, that's typically pop-up shops?
I haven't. I believe West Elm or not Pottery Barn, Anthropology, they do pop-ups. I knew for sure that those national stores do, but just getting into a local store can make a difference.
That's what I'm saying. It's a great idea if even the big boys are doing it, such as Costco or whatever. But yeah, I see it a lot in the local stores here. So I think that's a great idea. That's a good one. Okay, what you got next?
The next one is pretty popular, just attending like outdoor market events. It could be the Country Living Fair. There's so many now. There's so many local options to craft fairs, indoor, outdoor, whatever it might be. That's another great way to get out.
Women's.
Yeah. And it's a great way to get out in front of a huge market. There's one particular event that we participate in here in the Cleveland area. It's called the Summer Market. It draws thousands and thousands of people. It's just a Friday evening and a Saturday. And all year long, we have people that come into our store and say, I saw you at the Summer Market. They mention it all the time, and we know it's great exposure for us. So even if that person may not be buying from us that particular day, they definitely, if we hand out enough marketing material, which I think is the next one or one of the next ones on my list, that brings them to the store.
They will find you. Yeah,
Right.
I know the markets are really popular. And one of the ways that the listeners could find out about the local markets in their area, join your Chamber of Commerce or get on their mailing list. Because I know our Chamber of Commerce sends out an email every week so that you know what's going on in the area. So it would let them know about different events that they could do. Do you have any other ways they could find what the local pop-ups are?
I also feel like once you start participating in them, you might be surprised at how many other market organizers will approach you at those markets. We've been approached by quite a few other market organizers at that particular market. I mean, it's a great way for them to do research and find vendors for their market events. So that just showing up and being there should help.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay, what's your next one?
The next one is workshops, teaching inside a retail store or a craft store. If you have a skill that you can teach, it's another great way. In our store, we have 5 really talented instructors. They're subcontractors that we bring in because although we think we're talented, we can't teach it all. So we have to bring in other women to teach their skills. And there's a felt flower maker, a hand lettering artist, a knitting artist, and we have a variety of people that come in and teach at our store.
That's a really good one. And one that might parallel with that a little bit is having something they could make, not just learn. So one of the things that comes to mind we used to do, now that I'm thinking about it, you've got that going in my mind. We used to have a section because we were a bath and body retail store where they could come in and make bath salts. And so they could not only learn how to do it, but do it while they're there. And then everybody left with different little mix and stuff like that. So yeah, that's a good idea. Teaching them or letting them do a hands-on activity inside the store. Do you do anything like that? You have people come in and learn how to do the restoring the furniture in yours?
Yeah. I mean, they not only learn, but they all take something home in all of the workshops, even the furniture painting workshops. They'll come in and they'll bring a small piece of furniture, but they leave with it completely painted. And now they have the skill to go home and continue that. So a lot of them will bring a little piece of furniture and then they feel confident in painting it. And then they can go home and tackle a big dining room set or a bedroom set. And they're usually just kind of afraid. So this gives them enough of the skill to take home and keep practicing and working on
it. That's something I would love. I've got a dresser in my garage I would love to refurbish, but I don't know how. I keep going, one of these days I'm going to learn that or get rid of that.
It's easy.
Yeah. So do you teach like that chalk paint and all that kind of stuff? Oh,
we do.
That would
be
fun.
Yeah, it's great. And it really, some people frown down on painting furniture, but when we rescue a piece, we just rescued a beautiful buffet from a tree lawn. It was going to a landfill.
Yeah.
It needed a lot of repair work. We spent a lot of time on it. But, we can't feel bad about saving something from a landfill and giving it a new life.
No, you can't, especially when you make it pretty for somebody's home. That's nice. That's a good one. Okay, what's the next one on your list?
The next one is marketing materials. I feel like, paper products are not a lost cause, or it's not dying. I mean, you can get so many affordable marketing material for your store. It could be, or for your business, it could be a 4x6 card. It could be a business card. It could be flyers. It could be half sheet flyers. There's so many things. And it's easy to design them in Canva, any type of free program, and then get them printed. We order our cards from Vistaprint when they have a 50% off sale. So it doesn't have to be cost prohibitive. It could be really affordable. We order 1,000 cards at a time, and it makes it even more affordable for us. And we hand them out everywhere. They're in my purse.
They should be.
Right. They're at our cash wrap. They're at the summer market. When we go there, we take them everywhere.
Well, and when you mail them, people look at them too. They're not going to just throw them away. One of the things too, the U.S. Post Office will print and mail things for you like that as well. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know that until they came out and visited us at our business. And it's amazing. If you draw up the artwork in Canva or whatever and give to them, then tell them the zip code you want it dropped in, they will print it out and send it to everyone. I thought that was really cool too.
I heard it's an affordable option too, especially for small brick and mortar retail businesses.
Yeah. And I know for us, when we had our retail store, when we sent out a physical postcard, we always had better sales than when it was just an email for coming into the physical store.
Right.
So people do love that. That's a really good one. Okay. What's next on your list?
The next one is media. And this one probably scares people because if I talk about TV, they usually cringe. It's like my sister when I go live on Facebook and she goes running and hiding behind a piece of furniture because she doesn't want to be on video. But you'd be surprised at how easy it can be to get on a local TV segment. There's so many local TV stations that do morning episodes, and they like to promote local businesses. They like to teach their audience new things. So even, let's say, a skincare person can go on there and just talk about, you're not necessarily exactly talking about your products, but you're talking about a skincare routine and you're showcasing your products. Right. And a lot of those local TV shows are looking for a good news story. They're looking for a good local business or woman-owned business to promote.
That's a good one. I used that one a lot back when we had the business, the manufacturing side of it. And like I tell my clients all the time, the news has slow news days too. And so it's good to stay in with those editors and what they're doing. And it's okay to pitch every month. It's okay to keep pitching as long as it's something that adds value to their audience and would be newsworthy. And it's amazing how many times I would get a call like 5 o'clock at night and say, we're having a slow news day. Can we have our camera crew at it for the 6 a.m. slot? I'm like, sure, come on out. It's amazing how easy it is. I agree with you.
It's fantastic. And a lot of times the producers, they want it to be easy. And if they establish a relationship with you, just like you said, they might reach out to you, or they become familiar with you and they're comfortable with you enough that if you do pitch to them, they think it was such a good experience the first time. Yes, why not? We'll have her come back.
Well, and you know what's really cool about it? When you get on one channel, there's 2 more channels typically. Right. And I found that after we had run on one channel, the other 2 would often reach out for a different segment on theirs because it gave them ideas. So believe me, those news channels watch each other as well. So that's a really good idea. And it's a lot easier than people realize, especially if you're pitching stuff that's relevant to the season or the events or whatever's going on in your local area and make it newsworthy. And they do love women-owned businesses. And oftentimes too, I don't know if it's where you are, but like we have noon women's shows here too. So it's early morning shows and a lot of times the afternoon news shows
And another thing I'll add, I think this is what usually causes people to panic, is that they feel that all of these new segments or new shows are live, and sometimes they aren't. And they'll even come to you depending, like, let's say you're doing a pop-up shop somewhere and you mention it to them, and then they come out to the store that you're at. It can be a recorded show, and those are much more comfortable and relaxing. You're not perspiring, you're not panicking. And they want you to feel comfortable. They don't want to embarrass their TV channel. They want it to look good too. So they will record it. And if they need to, they'll re-record it. They make you very comfortable. So don't feel panicked at the thought of a TV show. It can be a fun and comfortable experience.
Yeah, that's true. And I found they always edit. And don't forget, they only put like 1 minute.
Right.
Because think about it. It's only 1 minute. They'll edit it down. So it's not like, it's not like you're going to be there being embarrassed for 30 minutes or something.
Right. They make you look good. It's okay.
They do because they want to look good. I agree with you. Okay. That's a really good one. All these have been really good, Kathy. Okay. What's your next one?
The next one is a website. Blogging and SEO is a great tool. Just basic SEO skills can make a big difference. So I highly recommend it. You don't have to be well-versed in SEO. You can just take a basic SEO course online, and that should give you enough to at least implement some of the information that you should have on your website. And blogging, I think that usually makes people nervous. You can do that once a month, and that'll be really helpful. Bring people to your website.
Yeah, those are both really good points. And SEO, I know so many people are so afraid of it, but it's really not that bad. And like you said, there's so many resources online. In fact, we even did a show. I interviewed Michelle Martello. So one of our podcasts here that we've done in the past, she gave a lot of tips on how to do SEO yourself. So that's a good one for those that are listening that want to refer back to that. Okay, what you got next?
The next one, your own customers. They can be your biggest cheerleaders. Asking them for reviews, I know it's uncomfortable, but it is an option. And you can ask them and be authentic about it. And it can really help on Facebook, on Google, wherever it is that they might leave you a review. It does help your online presence too.
Yes, it does. That's a really good one, because think about it. Every time you buy something online, don't you look at reviews first? I know I do.
Right.
And I like to look at the good reviews, but I also like to look at the bad reviews and see what it was they didn't like about the product. So yeah, reviews are good. Mm-hmm. Reviews are good. And you need not fear the bad reviews, because you can turn them around if they are bad by addressing the customer's issues. So that's a good one. Okay, what's next?
The next one is Facebook groups. And this is probably one of my favorites. It's how I feel like I've grown Savvy Shopkeeper. It really can help your business. You might be surprised at how much you can network. Again, I usually just tell people, don't be spammy, be really authentic and genuine. Follow the Facebook group rules. Every group has different rules. In my particular group, I give people an opportunity to share their links once a month, and they can order from each other. So it's just a really good way to get your name out there. And you're not just limited to a certain area. I mean, now you're opening yourself up to people all around the world, or if you only ship in the nation, at least in the nation then.
Yeah. No, Facebook groups are an awesome way. Probably LinkedIn groups as well.
Right. Yeah, that's another good idea.
That's good. Okay. What's your next one?
The next one and the last one is email marketing. I know you're a big fan of this one.
I am.
I love that you said
I said email marketing is like printing money, because when you do it, you get sales immediately. It's like so many people are so afraid of it, but I love that you have this one on your list.
Yeah, I hear a lot of women say that, who wants to hear from me? Why would they want to hear from me? You'd be surprised. If people follow you and they sign up for your newsletter, they do want to hear from you. They want to hear about the products you're making. For me, I always feel like I have so many ideas. Even when we were an online business, just blogging, I felt like the ideas were endless. But I feel like a lot of people get stuck on, what do I write about? What do I share about? And I always tell people, whether it's pen and paper or whether it's a Trello board, I know you're a fan of Trello too, wherever it is, brain dump and just put all of your ideas write down the things that your customers like. What is it that they enjoy? Of course, related to your product. It could just, even be ideas about home. Let's say you sell home decor, any kind of home decor accessory. It could be about how to style it, how to use it, where to use it. There's just so many ideas. You just kind of have to sit down and brainstorm and open up those floodgates.
Absolutely. And you know what? Like you said, you're not spamming them if they've given you their email list and they want to know about your products. Do you do anything in particular in your store to get more people on your list? Do you incentivize them in any way?
Yeah, I'm so glad you asked this. Yes, we have just paper and pen at our cash wrap where people can sign up. Yeah, there are other fancier ways that you can do it, but don't feel like everything has to be, technology driven. Pen and paper is really basic. The same when we're at our market event, we only do that one a year. We always have the paper and pen sign up there too. They can sign up for emails through receipts, but we don't market through our point of sale system. We really just use MailChimp. Again, it's free, and a paper and pen list. And then I just manually add them.
That's good. As soon as they leave, you just kind of put them in.
Right.
That's good. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I'll tell you, Kathy, you've got lots of ideas here for people to go ahead and start doing to market their business. And it's the perfect time of year with the fourth quarter coming up and everybody getting ready for that.
Yeah.
I really appreciate
it's an exciting
you doing
time.
That. Yeah. So tell us, for those that want to find you, where can we find you?
You can find me at savvyshopkeeper.com.
Okay.
And it's the same username everywhere: Facebook, Instagram, at Savvy Shopkeeper.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you, Becky. I appreciate you asking me to come on here.
You bet. Thanks. You've reached the end of another Product Biz Made Easy podcast. Now hop on over to BeckyJAnderson.com to grab the free resources and tools over there. And we'll see you next time. Thank you so much for listening. Bye-bye now.